Alright, so the game's been out for over a month, you feel me? And I wouldn't be Arena Fighter content creator if I don't make a tier list. And I already know y'all finna say, but you already made a tier list, this was your first video. Yes, I made a tier list, but it's been a month since that tier list. And more characters been added, and my thoughts on the characters has been swayed or shifted a little bit. So we gotta update what the characters actually are, you feel me? But before we do that, we gotta cue the intro, let's get it.
Yeah. Okay. Snake. Good.
But we're not finna procrastinate, we finna get straight into it. The first character on this tier list is Murata. And it honestly shouldn't be surprising that Murata is at D tier, because after all, he is a joke character. Despite that, almost everything is bad with him. The recovery time for his grab and his heavy is completely ridiculous. His damage is average at best. He has a pretty good reset, but the only thing he can do with this reset is a grab, because he can't do anything else. So overall, putting Murata at D tier makes the most sense to me. But it is still fun using him just to troll people online. Now I already know I'm finna get a lot of hate for putting the next character this low, but the worst C tier character on this list is Hinokami Tanjiro. And I already know what the comment's gonna be. His guard break skill is overpowered and his guard range is ridiculous. Now that is true, but his guard break skill can easily be predicted. And since his grab goes such a long range, once you dodge it, it's a free punish every time. And this is where the problem with this character is. Once you get punished, you're taking extreme damage since he takes the most amount of damage in the game besides Akaza. However, his heavy is pretty good since his heavy isn't linear like most people's. And his guard pressure can be pretty decent if you have a good assist. But the major flaw in his character is the fact that he takes too much damage and he can easily be punished, which is exactly why I have him on low C tier. Now, despite how much I love using him, Sabato will be the next C tier on this list. Sabato doesn't really bring anything special to his character. He has a few areas where he's good at, such as his grab range, his armored skill, and his charge up time for his heavy. What makes him unique from other characters is that his charge up time for his heavy is the quickest from any character. And his punch attack does start a yellow combo counter. However, his guard pressure isn't really that good. The reason I put Sabato so low is because I believe Sabato is a foundation for other characters. What I mean is that other characters can do what he do, but better, while adding other positives to their character. That being said, I don't think Sabato is a bad character. I actually like using Sabato, but there's nothing really special about him. Now, the next character on this tier list is Inosuke. I believe Inosuke is the best C tier character in this game. His biggest strength is his guard pressure. That being said, his biggest weakness is closing the distance between him and his opponent. So if you play a patient player, it will be difficult to get that good guard pressure off because you can't close the distance between them. And for that reason is why Inosuke has a lot of bad matchups in this game. Characters such as Shinobu, Nezuko, Zenitsu, Giyu, Makimo, Akaza, and Rui are all bad matchups because they can close the distance while being safe. But nevertheless, his guard pressure is completely ridiculous. Probably the best guard pressure in the game. Another reason why he's low is because of his bull rush. His bull rush is arguably the worst armor skill in the game. It does good damage for combo enders, however, using it towards the edge of the map is a horrible disadvantage. Because the recovery time is so bad, they can switch out to another character and punish you afterwards. All armor skill does have a horrible recovery time, however, Inosuke is just the worst. But Inosuke's biggest strength is the guard pressure and his grab, which is the quickest grab in the game. Which is why Inosuke is high C tier, and I will probably put him on B tier, but I feel like C tier is better. Now, the first B tier character on this list and the first demon on this list is Akaza. Akaza has many strengths, but with those strengths comes with many flaws. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Akaza does have the flashiest moveset in the game in my opinion, but the fact that he literally takes the most amount of damage in the game is what makes it disappointing. And I know you can replenish health when you surge, but the thing about that, if you're blocking, your health doesn't replenish. If you get attacked while boosting, then it defeats the whole purpose of you healing your health. Meaning that you're more or less losing a whole bar. Now, Akaza can close the distance between him and his opponent. However, he must use a demon skill. And when you use a demon skill, you lose an assist bar. Which means you cannot get out of combo if you get put in a combo until your assist bar refills. And the attack is armor, which means you're safe. However, you're not plus on block, which means you cannot spam out of it and you can get punished, or you're just gonna go back into neutral, wasting your assist bar again. But Akaza does have good qualities. His heavy is pretty good due to the range of his heavy. But without an assist, it leaves you wide open every time. And his compass meter is pretty good for players that play too aggressive. His air style is perfect for zoning. And his grab is the second fastest grab in the game. Akaza doesn't have good resets compared to other characters in the game. But to be fair, he doesn't really need them. He's more or less of a solid character, which is why he's a B tier character. Now, the next character on my tier list, and probably the most controversial character on my tier list, is Makimo. The main reason people don't think Makimo is a good character is her damage is so low. But if her damage was average, she would be a top tier character in this game at least. Her grab range is better than most, and her heavy has one of the best recovery times in the game. And she can cover the distance between her and her opponent really easily with her water wheel. And her combo drops makes it super easy for resets, which makes her resets extremely dangerous. And she has the best mix-up in the game without a doubt. And with a good assist, her guard pressure can be amazing. The thing about Makumo is that it takes more effort than just spamming buttons to be good with her. Now, I don't think her water wheel is the best water wheel in the game, but it is still really good. Overall, her character is amazing, but like I said, the only thing that stops her from being top tier is her damage, because she has the least amount of damage in the game. Which is why I'm confident for putting her on B tier. Now we got the first and the worst A tier character in this game, which is Ace. Bro, Ace isn't in the game. What you mean he's not in the game? You're thinking about the other donut boy. Oh, Minato. No, bro. Oh, the first and worst A tier character in this game is Rengoku. Now, I have made a video before on why Rengoku wasn't an S tier character, but Rengoku's biggest flaws in his character is that he's a slow character. He does a lot of damage, but most of his skills are punishable. And to be fair, there's at least 3 characters that does more damage than Rengoku. His grab range isn't anything special, but other than those flaws, he's a pretty good character because the guard pressure is pretty decent. But to get good guard pressure off him, it will cost you a lot. Rengoku also takes the 3rd most damage in the game. However, his heavy is pretty good and it covers a pretty good distance as well. Rengoku Blazing Universe also has some good tracking sometimes. Sometimes it's just ridiculous on how good that tracking is. Rengoku is an easy character to use, which is why a lot of people thought he was overpowered. But now that the game's been out for a while, I feel like people started to realize that there's more of a character that's way better than he is. That being said, the next A tier character on this list is Shinobu. There's so many positives in Shinobu's characters, but I'm gonna start off with her heavy. She is the only character in this game who cannot be punished after doing a heavy, making her heavies one of the best heavies in the game. Her plunge attack starts a yellow combo meter. The only other person that can do that is Sabito. So her plunge attack can do longer combos than other characters. Not to mention, she has the best tracking skill in the game. There's a reason why a lot of people use Shinobu as their assist, and that because her tracking is amazing on her skill, and it's even better when you're actually using her. Her poison is amazing, and I know a lot of people will say you can just switch out characters to stop the poison. However, you will lose an assist bar and you cannot get out any future combos. However, the downside of Shinobu is the fact that she takes the 2nd most amount of damage in the game. But for everything she offers, that's not even a big problem. Shinobu can also have amazing guard pressure if you have a good assist as well. Which is why putting Shinobu on A tier is a perfect spot. Now the next A tier character is Orokodaki. Sakanji's biggest strengths without a doubt will have to be his traps. There's literally so much things you can do with Sakanji traps, it's ridiculous. You can use the traps to bait, you can get the opponent person to use their assist so that they will bait their traps. You can time race, or you can even use it just to replenish some of your skill. And you can even use it to extend some combos. Now his heavy and his grab is pretty average, but he takes the least amount of damage in the game. And we're not gonna mention the fact that his water wheel could be the best water wheel in the game. And for a character that takes the least amount of damage in the game, he surprisingly does a lot of damage. And since his water wheel is so good in my opinion, his assist is a top 5 assist in the game. When I first started playing the game, I thought he was trash, but now thinking about it, he's an amazing character. Now coming in as the best A tier character in this game is Rui. I'm gonna just start off by saying that Rui guard pressure is probably the 2nd best guard pressure in the game. The fact that you can push back Rui and Rui can still do damage on your guard is completely ridiculous. And that makes guarding against Rui a problem. And his resets are pretty good since his grab can hit people even when they're jumping. And Rui heavy is probably the top 5 heavies in the game due to the range of his heavy. Despite all that stuff, that's not even the strongest point of his character. Rui is very efficient at starting combos at long range. One of his demon skills literally do the slowest knockdowns, and that same skill does a hell of damage on your guard. What prevents him from being an S tier character is the fact that he takes the same amount of damage that Shinobu does, and he doesn't do high damage. And we're not even gonna mention how he can replenish his health when he surges. Rui also barely has any bad matchups. The only bad matchups he has are the people that are S tier on this list. And coming in S tier is Zenitsu. Zenitsu has the best heavy in the game and the best recovery time on grab in the game, with the addition of his side step, which makes him hard to track sometimes. But those aren't even the strengths of his character. Zenitsu is a top 3 damage dealer in this game. But it's harder to do this high damage because of the lag online, which is why a lot of people end up struggling using Zenitsu, especially on PS4. His armor attack is the only armor attack that he can start a combo with, and his thunderclap and flash can make Zenitsu be completely unpredictable. Which is why Zenitsu has no bad matchups in this game. He can play zone, he can play close up, and he can close the distance between him and his opponent pretty easily. The only downside of his character is the fact that he doesn't have good guard pressure. And Zenitsu resets could be a problem, but the only problem is that it's hard to get online. And that's not even Zenitsu's fault, it's just because of net issues. And we haven't even talked about how Zenitsu is completely crazy in surge mode. The next S tier character on this list is Giyu. This is another character that is downplayed because of network. And the reason being because his high damaging combos come from his dead calm, which makes it hard to time perfectly online. His high damaging combos come from playing defensive, but however, he can still play offensive pretty good. His guard pressure can be really good, but it's gonna cost you and it could be risky. Giyu Water Wheel makes it perfect for amazing resets. And since his grab damage does the highest damage in the game, it makes it hard for you to keep blocking. Giyu paired with the good assist can make it easy for him to slip through for a grab. And that grab will do a bunch of damage. And Giyu assist can also put pressure on your guard, which makes it a pretty good assist as well. But the downside of Giyu is the fact that most of his skills can be punished pretty easily, including his grab and his heavy. Despite all that, he's still a top tier character in this game. Now, the second best A tier character in this game is Water Breathing Tundra. I'm gonna start off by saying his biggest weakness is probably closing the distance between him and his opponent. However, once he closes the distance, you can expect some devastating damage. His grab damage is pretty high, his combo routes are pretty easy, and he arguably has the best water wheel in the game. His whirlpool is perfect for aggressive players, and his waterfall basing leads into a hard knockdown which can lead into multiple combo routes. His heavy is pretty decent since it can sometimes catch the assist due to the range it has. And he takes the second least amount of damage in the game. And he can have good guard pressure as well. Even with all that stuff, he comes short for the #1 spot in the game. The best character on this list and the #1 character in this game is Nezuko. I've demonstrated multiple times to the people in my Discord on why Nezuko is just completely broken. She can dish out an insane amount of damage. Her heal dash is the best skill in the game. And since she takes the second least amount of damage in the game, she can take damage. Her guard pressure is really good, but it's not as Inosuke good, but she's really good regardless. Her heel kick and her claws make a devastating assist. And to top everything off, her grab range has amazing distance and amazing damage. Nezuko character is just insane at how broken it is. The one bad thing I would say about Nezuko will have to be her heavy. Her heavy often jump over the opponent, making her miss the heavy. However, this only happens if you do it at a weird angle. Nezuko is without a doubt the best character in this game in my opinion. She has so many positives with almost no negatives. Anyway, that's all for this tier list. If you like this tier list, don't forget to hit the like button. And if there's characters that you would change, let me know in the comments. Comment who would you change, what do you disagree with? Don't forget to subscribe for your boy. We're trying to hit 1K before the end of this year. We hit 600 yesterday. We're on the grind and we're only gonna keep going. But you already know what we gotta do. We gotta cue the outro. Let's get it.